Let's talk about Advantage versus Standard coming to more markets, including your
Mwah,
market of LA and
mwah.
some
Mm.
tests. Me, on the other hand, still don't have it, don't want it, don't need it.
Well,
5% of
look,
nothing is nothing.
obviously this worked for them. You remember when we first announced this like a year ago,
Yeah.
right? And then it must have worked. But then the California version, folks, is a little different. We don't have any AR restrictions on this like you guys do.
Yep.
Um, I mean, although not that the AR restrictions that you guys have, which was I think it's 25%, is that high. I mean, I get it. Some of you are like zero. I get it. That's your badge of honor. Have zero AR. But I mean, how are
Well, I
you
mean, if
making
they're
money if you
offering
have
you
zero?
the same trip 18 times and it's only paying you 41 cents a mile, come on.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to
that's how you
accept
go
that.
to
And that's
zero. I
going to
guess.
tank your AR.
Yeah, that's how you go to zero. Yeah.
And then there's
So,
just people who are just doing that on purpose.
well, no, no. We're not doing any of this in purpose, Uber. We're just
No,
those
no, no.
fares
I'm
suck.
saying like there's drivers who are just, oh, that's coming in, deny, deny, deny. Oh, look, I got a 2%.
Yeah. Well, mine. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to put it out. My AR is 24% at the moment,
Uh-oh.
and my CR is 1% because when I accept, I finish that freaking trip. Okay. And because otherwise, I'm not going to accept 24
Yeah.
1, and
Yeah.
my
I'm the same
rating.
way. If I'm going to accept something, I'm going to take it. The only way I
Yeah.
won't is if it's too
Yeah.
many people, underage or, kid without a car seat, like those
Yeah.
types of things.
Yeah.
Something
That
that's
kind of
going to
thing.
pose a serious safety risk or is illegal that they're trying to do, then at that point I cancel. But
Yeah.
other than that,
So.
yeah, if I'm going to accept the ride, I take it.
Yeah. No. Me too. And I do the same thing with Uber Eats when I do Uber Eats. Right. I mean, anyway, but the cancellation, so the threshold in California is cancellation of 8%, which is pretty easy. I mean, what are you guys doing if you're canceling 8% of the time?
Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guide. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today. Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
Now, this may be
I
hurt
I
some
know what they're
drivers.
doing if they're doing 8% cancellation rate, and you'd probably know exactly what they're doing too.
Absolutely, yeah. And but the star rating, is pretty high, 485. I don't know. Mine is
Mm.
496. And driving score 75 or more. Um, yeah, I think I'm okay on this one. So, however, there is something that I caught, and I tweeted
Fine.
this out, and I said, read the small print, and I highlighted it. Now it is too damn small for my glasses, Chris. You need to read what I highlighted.
You want just the highlight or you want the whole thing?
It's up to you, whatever you want to do. Maybe for context purposes, you should just maybe a couple of sentences before and a couple of sentences after, or something.
I'll just read number 2, period.
Okay,
So
read.
there's 1, 2, 3, 4 little, you know, caveats that they have there. We'll read 2 because 2 is the one where it's highlighted. So it says available only to drivers taking eligible non-premium rides in Advantage mode, commute delivery trips such as Uber Eats and Uber Connect, hourly taxi, Uber Black, Uber Black SUV, Uber Premier SUV, and Uber Reserve trips are not eligible for 5% additional Advantage mode earnings. The 5% additional Advantage mode earnings is calculated on a per trip basis, and certain earnings such as Quest promotions, tips, wait time fees, cancel fees, tolls, and other third-party fees and operational expenses, as stated on your receipt, are not included in the calculation. Advantage mode earnings will be included in the calculation for any additional earnings to be provided under any applicable minimum earnings guarantees. Here's the part that is highlighted. Uber does not guarantee drivers will experience higher earnings than earnings received prior to the launch of Advantage mode. Let me read that again.
Yeah.
Uber does not guarantee drivers will experience higher earnings than earnings received prior to the launch of Advantage mode. What do you think that means? Put it in the comments. Let us know. But just to give you a little bit more, additional earnings while in Advantage mode will be shown as a separate payout on the trip receipt and weekly earnings statement, and is in comparison to eligible earnings that the driver in standard mode would earn for the same trip.
Okay, what do you think of the highlighted part?
I think they are going, as I said before, I think they are going to give drivers a lovely 5% discount when it comes to pay. So that means you got a 5% pay cut. And for those who are in Advantage mode, hey, guess what? You're making normal rate of what you were making before. So are you going to be making anything more? Nope. You're actually just going to be paid 5% less. You're saving yourself from 5% pay cut. Let's call a spade a spade.
Does this sound? Actually, I just talked to Bloomberg yesterday. They watched one of our videos.
Only
The EV
one.
shaving bonus video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So and then how we busted him and it cost them millions and millions of dollars. Then drivers got all this money, right? Okay.
Mhm.
So they go like, you're like a sleuth. I go,
Yeah.
no, bro. I go, we chased their tails. We keep them on the ground. We don't fuck around. So anyway, so they're doing an article about that. Doesn't
Hey,
this
hey,
sound
hey,
exactly
this
like that?
channel is controlled opposition. I want my money trucks, so shut the
Fuck. Okay. So
Somebody put in the
doesn't this?
comments, okay, everything is a fucking conspiracy. Whoop de
Don't
fucking
cuss,
do.
Chris. No cussing today. No cussing.
Oh, I already screwed that. Who cares?
So doesn't this highlighted section sound exactly like that EV shaving thing? Oh,
Yes.
you're gonna get $1, but until Chris and Serge find out that you're not getting $1, we'll give it to you later. This sounds exactly like that. It goes, I can't read. Uber does not guarantee drivers will experience high. They don't guarantee, but they're telling you that you're going to get 5%. First of all, Uber,
Hmm.
5% over what? That's number one question. Number two question is, you stuck this in the little small print there, but I caught it.
And
I
you know
read
what I need
every
to
goddamn
to
fucking
do?
thing.
I need to
What does
update
that
this.
mean? Like,
I
we
need
don't
to update
guarantee
these
it, but you're going to
screenshots.
get 5% anyway.
I need to update this. Introduce, instead of Advantage and standard mode, it's got to be normal rate mode and pay cut mode.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's what it's got to be, because as pay cut mode, or AKA standard mode, you're just making 5% less than what you were making before this kicks in.
The other thing that little birdies tell me, Chris, before they introduce this advantage versus standard mode, they come into the city and cut the fares by 5%, boil the frog slowly kind of a little thing. And then they
Mhm.
make it look like they're giving you the extra 5%. What do you think about that? Do you think that's happening?
That's called boiling the frog slowly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to be up in arms saying, "Oh, I can't believe they just cut my pay again."
Yeah. 5% over what?
Any way you squeeze driver pay, 100%. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think they
that's
go
why
into
they're
the
rolling this
city.
out in different markets, because all it is going to do is say, "Oh, you're gonna be in normal pay mode, and then you're gonna be in pay cut mode. Which one
Yeah.
do you wanna
Well,
be in?"
I was like very curious about this. So Uber, take a screenshot of this and send me an email. Like, what does that mean? First of all, 5% over what? Because we don't have a rate card, and this, like, what? So you get the 5%, but it's not a guarantee we get a 5%. I'm not sure, Uber. This looks fishy. Smells fishy to me. This smells very fishy. So we're gonna do the test,
Well,
and we're gonna find out.
you know the saying, "If it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's a duck."
Okay. Well, we're gonna find out how big the duck is, bro. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, here's the thing. Obviously, we're gonna have to do the TST just to figure out whether it's, truly the difference that they're saying between the 2.
can you
But
spell more perfect union?
but but the other part of the TST that you gotta do is a ride that comes in that's the exact same ride, from a month ago, from 2 weeks ago, from a year ago, and put it in with the ride post tomorrow and
Oh, that
see
we
the
can do.
difference and pay for that. I
Yeah,
know
we
you
can
got
look.
all your
Look.
screenshots.
I actually can do that. I'll just go screen record today, a bunch of trips, right? And then tomorrow kicks in, and then I can do that as well. But I just
Well,
want to
no,
see.
no, no, you can't do that, because
What?
they're already cutting the pay. They're going 1% each week, right?
Oh.
So they're
Yeah.
boiling the frog slowly. So
Gotcha.
LA, they announced it what, 5 weeks ago, I bet.
Yeah.
They could do, oh, today we're lowering the pay by 1%. Then
Yeah.
the next week we're doing by another percent. The next week we're doing by another percent. So that dollar ride that dollar per ride that you were getting, now it's down to 95 cents per ride,
That's true.
per dollar.
That's true.
So that's exactly what they're doing. So they're boiling the frog slowly, so it doesn't look like any change, but in reality,
Mm.
that's what I'm saying. You got all the screenshots from your rides, so go back a year from
Uh,
right around your house, or a common ride that you've
yeah.
had, maybe
Yeah.
going to LAX or something, and then check what the pay would be, a couple months ago, last
Okay.
month,
All right, we can do that.
2 weeks ago,
But
and then
but but more
after tomorrow.
importantly, I want to see this 5% difference. Like I'm sure in the chat, people are going like 0%, 5%, whatever. But it's not AR, so we need to find. So we need to find a bunch of standard drivers, maybe in couple of weeks to a month. Once this thing settles down a little bit, we'll find a bunch of standard drivers and a bunch of advantage drivers, and yeah, we'll do the TEST. We'll see how it goes.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club, with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.